Hi, this is Trepacer. Um, I didn't go see a movie today, like I said. Well, I said in my blog that I was thinking about going to see a movie, but I didn't. I didn't. I got kind of lazy and didn't go downtown anyway to see a movie. But I do wanted to do a Saturday horror, not Saturday horror, Saturday review. And since it's October, it is going to be horror related anyway. I'm just going to talk about an experience that me and my friend, my best friend, uh, growing up. His name is Eric. We went to we kind of played hooky. I think one day. Oh no, we didn't. I don't think we played. I don't think we played hooky. I think we went after school to see these two movies. I remember we went to see two movies, two horror related movies, believe it or not. A Zombie and American Werewolf in London. Okay, and specifically, I remember, especially Zombie. Zombie stayed with me for a while and kind of gave me nightmares. I remember two specific instances about that movie. Okay, the first, actually, three things. Actually, excuse me. The first thing was, of course, the zombie fighting the shark. That was just like surreal. I remember being in the theater with my friend and we were watching it and go, "Is that? Oh my God! Is that shark actually fighting the zombie?" It was just surreal, and I still got to get that movie. I got to get that movie. That movie I absolutely loved. It just because it was just so memorable. And that scene, and also the scene where the zombie pulls the woman, and they show it real slow motion. He pulls her forward, slowly but surely, and then you see the piece of wood that's sticking out because I guess he's hiding in the closet. He breaks the closet, and there's a piece of jagged wood, and he pulls her, and he grabs it, and he pulls her, and then you see it slowly but surely go right through her eye. The piece of wood go right through her eye, which, just totally creeped me out. And I remember that. And then also towards the end, where you see the zombies going across the bridge into Manhattan, and which was just. That's why I got to get that movie. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but those images, really, stuck in my head even to this day. After seeing that in the theater, that was just absolutely fantastic. And now, American Werewolf in London. Always a big fan of werewolf movies, and I remember seeing the if people know New York, how New York was back then. Back then, Times Square wasn't as good as it is now. It was kind of seedy back then, but they used to have they used to like show Chinese movie, karate movies and stuff, and they have double features and stuff in Times Square. And I remember walking by one day when I don't know if me and my friend were in Times Square or whatever it was, and I saw the advertisement in the window for American Werewolf London when it came out, and they had pictures. You know how they have a poster of the movie, and then they have pictures, like photographs, of this. I don't think they do that as much as they do anymore. They did back then. They had like pictures in the window of like scenes from the movie, like like they showed pictures, and I remember specifically that picture of him, the picture of him that you see sometimes when they show of him when he's first transforming and stuff, and that's remember in other scenes, other pictures and stuff, and I remember saying, "Oh man, what is that movie?" And then I saw, I said American Werewolf in London. I said, "Yeah, I want to see that." And then I think one day, me and my friend were talking about it, and then he said, "You know what?" He said, "No, let's go. It was playing at a theater. Because where I live towards that way is like Fordham Road, Grand Concourse. There were three theaters back then, three movie theaters back then, and I think we saw this in the Valentine, which I think it was on Fordham Road back then. And anyway, we went to see it, and I remember since it's an R-rated movie, we got in anyway because people didn't care back then. Whether we were kids, they didn't card us, so we went to see it. And again, that transformation scene when he transforms for the first time, it's just surreal, and it was just always so memorable to me because because that was I was a big Wolfman fan, always a big fan of the Lon Chaney Wolfman and stuff, and I saw other horror movies before Wolfman, but never did you ever see a horror movie where a guy who got bitten by a werewolf actually physically changed into a wolf. Okay, which was that was groundbreaking at the time. Rick Baker, his makeup and everything, and he won the Academy Award and all that stuff. But it was so, and the great thing about it to me was also like because normally sometimes when you see those transformations in movies, it's dark and you can't really, sometimes you can't see everything. But in this one, it was in bright, I remember it was in a a brightly lit room, okay, and you got to see everything. He just all of a sudden, that the music also added to to the scene, and it was just all of a sudden he was just reading the book, and then he just I'm burning up, and then he just jumped up, and then you see him just take off his pants, and you go, what the hell? And then all of a sudden you see the back, and then you see the hand start. Oh, like that. And I think to that point, I think that David Naughton had done the Pepsi commercial back. No, the Dr. Pepper commercial. I think he did. I think before this movie, I think he was famous for doing the Dr. Pepper commercials. But anyway, you see that transformation. Like I said, it's brightly lit. You see everything. You see the hands stretching, bones cracking. He's screaming in pain because his bones are breaking. And I think there's one point where where after he's stretched out, basically, he falls out. And he looks right at the camera, which makes it even more creepier. He looks directly into the camera, and then you see him flip over, and you see him like when he's on his, he's on his hind, he's basically on all fours, and then you see him screaming, and then you see him transforming, and then he says, "I'm sorry, what is it, David? I'm sorry, I called you a meatloaf." No, he was David. I forgot what his friend's name was. Griffin Dunn's character. He said, "I'm sorry, I called you a meatloaf." And then you just see him screaming, and you see the ears just stretch up, and the nose and then his eyes pop. Oh my God, that was like a living nightmare. And I remember that scene stayed with me like forever. I mean, even to this day, I can't watch it. Every once in a while, I may look on YouTube and just to see it, but it's so. I could probably watch the rest of that movie, but just that scene alone is just because it's so, it's not real, but it seems so real, and it's painful. It's not, like I said, when you see the Wolfman Lon Chaney, and he slowly, he changes, he grows hair and the teeth, but he doesn't physically, but he's still a man. He's a wolf man, but this one he changed into a wolf. He actually physically changed into a wolf. And it was painful, and just I'll never forget those two movies. I mean, that was just, oh my God, just incredible, and that's, it's I guess it's like a thing, like it scares me in a way, but it intrigues me at the same time. I guess I don't know if there's a word for that. That it frightens me, but it also intrigues me at the same time. And it was just American Werewolf in London, that again, just that transformation scene in that movie theater was just unforgettable. And again, the zombie movie, fighting the shark, the lady getting her eye pulled in, and then the zombies walking across the bridge into Manhattan. And I think there was I think also in that movie, there was like a voiceover, and I know that was an Italian horror movie, right? And I forgot. I have to get that movie because that just to watch it again. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but that movie stuck in my head because I remember the poster for that movie with the zombie, and I think they had worms coming out of his eyes and all that stuff. Just like I said, it's unforgettable. You never forget that once you see that. So those two movies, I think it's called Zombie. I think that's what it was called, Zombie, okay, and American Werewolf in London. Those two horror movies just really made an impact on me, like forever. Like I said, I always loved Lon Chaney's Wolfman, and to this day, that's to me my almost all-time favorite, horror movie for that, because the way it was and the way it was, the acting and all that, and Lon Chaney's performance and the makeup and all that stuff. But this werewolf movie was like unforgettable to me, American Werewolf in London, because it was a nice mix of the horror, the drama, the little bit of romance, but just again horror again, because there was a guy, two Americans in London backpacking, attacked by a werewolf. One dies, one lives. One tries to warn him, so it had that dark humor in it, and that you're gonna change, telling his friend, and of course he doesn't believe him. And that movie's just great. John Landis, that was just a classic to me. The American Werewolf in London is just it's a horror classic. Yeah, just a great movie. Anyway, let me know what you think of these two movies, Zombie and American Werewolf in London. What do you think of those two movies? I know a lot of people are horror fans. Probably have seen those two movies. What do you think of them? Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care.